Hi, this is George Alger. Welcome to today's segment of Our Ventura TV. Today we're going to be talking about Narconon Ojai, and our guest expert is Fabian Padro, who is the executive director of the organization. Welcome, Fabian, and what is Narconon?
Hi, George. Thanks for having me. Narconon is a drug and alcohol rehabilitation center. It's a long-term residential program, and we're located in Upper Ojai, California.
Very good, and I understand it's part of an international network of such centers.
Yeah, Narconon has 40 centers worldwide. Our particular center is nested up in Upper Ojai on a 45 acres. We have a 27,000 square foot facility here, and we're having fun doing what we're doing.
Very good, and speak to the program itself.
Yeah, the program basically takes a drug-free approach, meaning that we don't give an individual who's looking to get off of drugs, we don't give them more drugs. So our approach starts with a drug-free withdrawal that is monitored, by a medical professional, and we basically get the person off of drugs during the drug-free withdrawal by giving them nutritional, vitamins, and nutrition, and making sure that the individual's sleeping and eating correctly. And that lasts about 7 to 10 days before they continue on with the rest of our program.
Very good. And how does this differ from other rehabilitation programs?
Yeah, so there's different approaches to getting an individual off of drugs. One of the mainstream modalities that are out there for treating drug addiction is dual diagnosis, for instance, which is giving an individual, drugs. Let's say an individual comes in with a drug addiction. They'll normally be diagnosed with some form of depression or anxiety. So that type of modality or treatment would then give that individual more medications. Sometimes it can give an individual up to 10 medications for one drug addiction. And then there's other modalities like, 12-step that is out there that basically it's more of a faith-based type of approach, and that the person is powerless to their addiction. And, they attend meetings and things like that. There are some positive things in different approaches. Obviously, our approach is, a drug-free approach, and we believe that the individual can become better, and that they can recover, and that they're not always an addict for life.
Very good. And I understand Narconon uses some of the principles of rehabilitation established by L. Ron Hubbard.
We do, and that's something that comes up. Obviously, L. Ron Hubbard was the founder of Scientology. However, we are a secular group, and so we don't require somebody to be a Scientologist, nor do they become a Scientologist by going through the program. If they're interested in that, then that's something that they can further seek out themselves. However, we're just interested in applying his techniques that he discovered in studying drug addiction in the height of drug addictions in the 1960s and 70s. And basically, we're licensed to use his research in drug rehabilitation.
Good. And could you describe, say, one of those particular techniques that are applied here?
Sure. So basically, when a person finishes their drug-free withdrawal, then they enter into the second phase of our program called the New Life Detoxification. And what Mr. Hubbard discovered is that just because an individual stops doing drugs doesn't mean that the drugs are fully out of the person's system. What he found is that drug residues can be lodged into the body, into its fatty tissues, and then later re-released into the bloodstream. And then the individual can then have similar like symptoms as if he was taking the drugs, like flashbacks and cravings and things like that. So this part of the program, it's like no other program that exists out there. And the approach that we take, the individual takes a particular vitamin regimen that helps the individual replace the minerals that are lost through their drug addiction. And then there's some exercise involved, and then a period of time that the individual goes into a sauna and then sweats the drugs and toxins out of their body. And on average, that part of the program lasts about 23 days. And the person is, taking vitamins, and they're going in and out of the sauna between 2.5 hours to 5 hours a day. They can come in and out of the sauna as much as they like to their comfort level and cool off. And then basically they're sweating drugs and toxins out of their body. And when the individual is done, they look like a brand new person. You know, you can see the white of their eyes coming back. The person's, people have said that they become, more perceptive about things and just more clear-headed, and their body, it's like an oil change for the body.
It does sound like a health regimen too.
Yeah, I mean, we've had individuals that go through the program that sometimes they come in with high blood pressure, for instance, and on medications, and by the time that they're done with that part of the program, they're off their blood pressure medication. Their blood pressure has come back into the proper range that it should have been, and they really just, it's a renewal of their body and getting their health back, and it really helps the individual uh, get their body back and back in communication with their body. And that's really the first part of our program. It's really assisting the individual so that their body can do a lot better. We're making sure that they're eating correctly, sleeping correctly, and then we start to kind of repair the body in a sense, through giving it the proper vitamins and nutrition that it needs.
Very good. And would you say that the program embraces or addresses any type of drugs or that exist in the world?
Yeah, I mean, so basically there's only two types of drugs that a person would particularly need a medical detox. And actually there's three classes. There's psychotropic drugs, those are more antipsychotic type medications. Definitely if a person's coming into the program and looking to, withdraw from those type of drugs, they should definitely do that with the help of a doctor, their personal primary care physician, and get tapered off correctly. There's benzodiazepines, that would be something like Xanax or Valium. Again, that's something that needs to be tapered off, as the individual could have, a seizure or go into cardiac arrest. And then long-term alcohol use, that's another drug that's very dangerous, in the sense that if a person is having, cirrhosis of the liver or fatty liver, things like that, they should definitely consult their physician before starting a program like ours. But drugs like, crack, meth, heroin, opiates, those are pretty non-fatal in the sense of when you're withdrawing from them. It's obviously not comfortable to withdraw from any type of drug, but definitely, those are drugs that somebody could start our program, go through the withdrawal portion of it, and then, detoxify their body so that they're addressing the body aspect. And then the next part of our program, which is the third part of our program, is the individual is doing cognitive type therapy called objectives, in the sense that it directs the individual's attention off of themselves and off of the cravings of the drugs and into their present time environment, and so that they're more present. And then they do a series of life skill courses that address the decisions that they've made that has led them down to the path that they've chosen to use drugs, and take a look at the individuals that they've hurt while using drugs, and start to take responsibility for their actions and become, more responsible as an individual, and then become a contributing member to society and get them back on the right path, as opposed to, the wrong path that they were headed down.
Very good. Fabian, do you happen to know if the use of drugs in society has actually increased or decreased statistically from the time in the 60s and the 70s when this was started?
Yeah, it's actually what we're seeing is a heavy increase of drug addiction. I believe it's one of the most important situations that we have here in America. President Trump obviously said it's an epidemic that's across the nation when he entered into office. Here in America, about 50,000 individuals lose their life from opiate overdose, preventable overdose here in America. Obviously we're in the middle of a pandemic with COVID-19, and, a lot of people have lost their life. It's a very important health concern. I think over 300,000 people have lost their life worldwide. But to put things into perspective, over 3.6 million people worldwide will lose their life from preventable drug overdoses. And that is really a really big pandemic that needs to be confronted and addressed. And obviously Narconon's trying to do their part worldwide with the centers that we have in over 40 countries.
All right. Fabian, we're just about out of time here. I'm wondering if you could provide a website that viewers could go to for more information, and if you have a summating message for the viewers.
Yeah, so our website is Narconon, that's Narconon, Ojai, OJAI.org. And there you can see us on the web and watch a video of our program. If you have questions, you can also call us at 805-798-8040. I mean, basically, my message is this, that there is help out there possible, whether it's Narconon or another facility. Definitely, if you have a loved one, take the approach that you feel is best for them, but definitely take the approach and be there for them. If you think somebody's struggling, reach out and help them. And obviously we want to be there to help. And, the product that we're trying to get is that the individual can have a drug-free and happy life. And that's what Narconon's about.
Thank you very much, Fabian.
Thank you, George.
This is George Alger signing off for this segment of OurVentura TV. Until we meet again.